Welcome to the Unicorn Hunters Podcast. This podcast contains sexually explicit content and erotic stories that may not be suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised. And now, here are your hosts, Jack and Naomi.
Welcome back. This is episode 2. I'm Jack.
And I'm Naomi.
And today we're talking about threesomes. All about threesomes. What is a threesome? Well, according to the Webster Dictionary, it is a sexual encounter involving 3 people. Is that pretty straightforward?
Yeah.
I don't know why I decided to define that, but I was like, maybe. I think I was more interested in seeing what Webster said about what a threesome was.
Did you try Googling it?
That's what I did.
Oh, okay.
I Googled it and they were like, here's the Webster definition. So I guess we'll talk about why are they so sought after.
Because they're fun. More hands and more tongues. And
more bodily fluids. Do you think it's more fun with someone you're familiar with or someone who's a stranger?
It depends.
I mean,
think
if it's someone
stuff like
you know,
that is circumstantial.
if it's someone you're familiar with, it's usually more comfortable. And because threesomes are so awkward anyways.
I think the awkwardness would be after the fact of having a threesome with a friend or one of your coworkers. Like, what happens if it doesn't work out?
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's always a risk you take with threesomes, is sometimes it's not going to work out. So in that case, it's probably better if it's a stranger because you can just cut them out a lot easier.
Well, that's why I'm thinking of a coworker. Like,
Yeah, if it's a coworker, then it's super awkward because you can't really avoid that. But I think, too, if it's someone you're familiar with, there's that trust level.
well, yeah.
I mean, you trust them not to...
That's because you know
If you're trying to be discreet, you trust them not to say anything.
Well, the stranger excites me because you don't know who it is and you never have to see them again. That's to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the stranger is more exciting, obviously. But you're also taking a risk with a stranger.
Yeah, but I don't have to always know.
Aside from awkwardness after the fact, you also have the awkwardness during the threesome.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better to be with someone you're familiar with. That way it's easier to laugh about it. Whereas if it's with someone you don't know and it gets awkward,
Yeah, and then
you
you never
just
have
don't know
to
how
see
people are
them
going to
again.
react.
No.
But like having sex with someone you don't know, it's awkward anyways.
Sex can be
Not
awkward.
that that's bad, but it can be awkward.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you throw in a third person and it's sex with 3 people, it can make it even more awkward sometimes. But what do we always say about threesomes and when it gets awkward? It's good to just laugh about it.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't want to like make it more awkward by being like, oh my gosh, you just want to laugh about it. You know what I mean? But every time I think about why people look for threesomes and why they're so sought after, I always think about that polyamory married and dating show that we watched.
Yeah.
And there was the one triad. It was the guy in the triad. His name was Chris. And he had that quote. He said, if you've never had a threesome, just imagine how great a threesome would be. And that's how awesome it is. Not very poetic. But it's kind of true. It's, you know what I mean?
Summed it up for you.
But female threesomes are harder to come by than maybe a male-female threesome, where there's 2 men and a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on Craigslist right now and be like, does anybody want to fuck my wife with me? And you would have 30 dudes emailing me. But if I went on there and said, is there any women out there?
Oh, you can't find them.
You can't find them.
That's why they're called unicorns.
And if you do find them, you probably don't want to find them off Craigslist.
No, that's creepy. Is there still Craigslist?
Yeah, you can go on Craigslist.
Shut the
It's not as
front
popular.
door.
I think the Craigslist killer had something to do with that.
Stop it. There's more than one Craigslist killer. We've already had this
there
debate.
Was at least 2 that we're aware
Two
of.
that we're aware.
But the female, which is where the 2 women... Because, okay, so here's the thing about...
Goes back to the whole argument.
Here's the thing about
threesomes.
threesomes and the acronyms. So if it's a female, male threesome, that means that the 2 F's come first, which means the females are bisexual. They're having sex as well as the male. If it's a female threesome, it's where the male has sex with both females, but the females don't have sex with each other. Those are the worst pornos too. When you find a threesome porno and the guy's having sex with the girls, but they're not having sex with each other, that ruins it for me.
Well, yeah, because then it's just for the guy then.
But the female-female-male threesomes, they seem to be so hard to come by. Because I think in our experience, most of the time when we meet another woman and we bring up the idea of a three-way relationship or a threesome, she, most of the time, seems genuinely interested in what we're talking about. Whether it's just like a poly triad or a threesome, she seems engaged, right? Mm-hmm. But then I would say 8 out of 10 times when you turn that around, it never happens because they get cold feet. It's like they love the idea of it, but they never want to commit to it. And I don't know if that's an intimidation factor.
I agree with that.
And it's not just our experience. I mean, we've talked to other couples where it seemed like that was their experience as well. Women seem to love the idea of that happening, but don't actually want to commit to it. She could be attracted to the both of you, but also be intimidated, and that could override anything she was attracted to.
Yeah, because it's just her. So, yeah, I get that.
In your opinion, do you think it's important for, not just me, but just for a guy to meet the other female before anything sexual happens?
Yes, absolutely.
You don't want me to meet her, and then it's like, oh, we're going to have a threesome tonight. And then all of a sudden, maybe we're not attracted to each other.
No,
or...
and I like your type, too. So, but I also know there's women that I like, and you're like, don't even.
That rarely happens, though. When it comes to you saying, would you have a threesome with this woman, I go strictly on a binary scale. It's either yes or no. And it takes a lot for me to say no, I think, when it comes to a threesome.
This is true.
But in our experience, I mean, I think me not meeting her beforehand is sort of the root of
and
cold
I think
feet.
It's easier. Yeah.
Me meeting her with a no sex pressure situation
can make her feel comfortable. Like,
way more comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
That increases our odds exponentially.
Yes.
If she's just brought in or we try to just bring her in off the cuff, it never works. Mm-mm. She always gets cold feet. You have no interest in a male-male, female threesome. Would that ever be something you'd be open to?
Yeah. You know that. We discussed it.
Well, because I've asked you before, would you like to have 2 dudes at one time? And you're always like, no.
No. Mm-mm. But my door's not shut. No. I don't want people to think I wouldn't. I'm just...
Yeah. I think you would.
I mean, you can... No.
We haven't. But to me, if we're with another couple...
I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at her.
We're having sex and I'm having sex. Let's say I'm having sex with his wife and you're having sex with him.
But see...
And she gets up because she's like, I got to go to the bathroom.
I'm going to get up and follow.
And I slide over and I'm like, I'm going to join you two. I don't think you'd be opposed to that. Are you going to stop me? Are you going to stop him? Are you going to stop him and be like, whoa. No. Nope. And then bam, you're in a threesome. In our experience, It seems like female-female-male threesomes are more sought after than 2 men and a woman.
Yes, they are.
I mean, there are women in the lifestyle that really enjoy 2 men.
Yes.
But it seems like most people seek out that third female. In the lifestyle, you probably have a threesome and you probably don't even realize it. Because in the lifestyle, in our experience, there's always those situations where, okay, there's 2 couples and the women are fooling around and then all of a sudden the women are taking turn going down on the guys and then maybe they're both going down on one guy at the same time and then they go over to the other guy and do it to him. You're basically having micro threesomes.
Oh, yeah. When you look at it like that.
So this is where we differ on opinions, I think. To me, the rarest threesome is the male-male-female, where the 2 men are bisexual and everyone's having sex.
That's the rarest?
The rarest threesome.
Probably.
Because you see female-female-male all the time. And then you see like 2 guys banging 1 girl all the time. But it's rare to see the 2 guys banging each other with another woman. You don't see that very often.
No.
I mean, you could look it up on Pornhub or something, I'm sure, but you just don't see it very often. Threesomes in general, I think, seem to be more socially accepted nowadays. If someone was to come up to you and say, yeah, I've had a threesome before, it really wouldn't be a shock.
No.
Do you think that the acceptance is higher because society as a whole has a higher acceptance of gay, lesbian, bisexual identity?
Most likely. That probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
People are more accepting of it now. I mean, people don't have to be in the closet as much.
No. I mean, I think just in general, I think I saw a stat that said like 7 or 8 out of 10 women at one point in their life will experiment with another woman.
That's really high.
Yeah, you don't see that with guys.
But why?
I just think it's the level of desire and acceptance. But as far as threesomes where one person has sex with two people, but not all three people have sex with each other. We have been propositioned for this before.
Yes, we have. I had a friend of mine approach me more than once on it, wanting to have a threesome.
Was she drunk?
No, she wasn't. On neither occasion. So.
And you turned it down?
Yes, that's not something I would be interested in.
Why do you think a threesome where not everyone's having sex, why do you think that's a bad idea?
If that's her way of really just sleeping with my husband, she doesn't want to touch me, then I'm not interested in that. As a woman, I could say, that could make me feel insecure.
So it would lead to jealousy issues.
Well, yeah, that's, not the type of threesome I'm looking for.
To me, if you're having a threesome and only two people are engaged in sex at a time and not everyone's having sex with each other, it's harder to please everyone. So you get sort of the isolation. People get felt left out, which to me leads to more jealousy and things like that. Like if I'm having sex with you and we have another woman with us, but she's not bisexual and she's just sitting there while I'm with you, I mean, there's only so much you can do with your fingers. Like, you know what I mean? So you're not going down on her because she's not into that. So then she maybe starts to feel left out. So it's harder to please everyone when you have exclusive threesomes is what they call them. And when it comes to threesomes, one of the biggest rules is that you have to avoid putting attention on one person more than the other. But exclusive threesomes, it's kind of easy to get carried away like that because not everyone's able to please other people.
I think it would be really easy to get carried away.
Oh, yeah. In our experience, there's been threesomes where I'm just not as attracted to her as you are to her. So I tend to focus on you maybe a little bit more, but it's easier because you're focusing on her. So it kind of takes her attention away from that. But if it was an exclusive threesome, you wouldn't have that ability and she would probably feel isolated, which is obviously one of the biggest things you want to avoid. So going back to why we seek threesomes. So one of your big kinks is that you like watching me with other women.
Yes, I love watching you with other women.
Do you like watching me have sex with other women, or do you like watching other women go down on me? Like, where does the desire level?
I think going down on you, because that's...
More so than anything else? Is that because it's more personal, more intimate?
I think so, but I also get to see your face and how she's making you feel.
You can see my face while I'm having sex with her, too.
Well, yeah, but it's different. I guess you hit it. You said it.
Now, when I'm having sex with another woman, is there that same level of excitement, or is it just not quite as high?
It excites me. I think it's more intimate when someone's giving you a blowjob.
Yeah.
But I think it's hot, though.
It's super hot for me to watch you with another woman.
Whatever.
I would say it's more exciting sometimes for me to watch you with another woman than it is for me to have sex with another woman.
That's not true.
Oh, it's yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I know it really does excite you.
Yeah.
So I guess I do got to go back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're with someone else, and it's like you're in that moment with that woman, and she's in that moment with you, like that's the biggest turn on for me.
Well, I want you to be turned on. I want you to like it. That's exciting for me, for you to be excited. I would think most people are like, I like watching it. It's like saying, I like watching porn, but I love watching porn. But it turns me on to know that turns you on.
Before you ever saw another woman go down on me, was the thought of seeing a woman go down on me something that excited you?
Yes. Initially I would think about it and be worried about it. It would bother me.
But it kind of excited you.
But it excited me.
And then when you actually saw it, you knew that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot.
So we talked about icebreakers, but once you actually have gotten to the point where all three of you are like, okay, let's do this. And, we have another woman over. What are our favorite foreplay options? And by foreplay, I don't mean sexual foreplay. I mean just the build up to the threesome.
Yeah, we love the warm-ups.
The for us, the games. Yeah, we like to play Cards Against Humanity. The new one we like is What Do You Meme? I think it's called.
That one's fun. Awesome.
Yeah, but we always start with usually Cards Against Humanity.
That's a fun game. Yes.
I always got my bourbon. You've got your tequila. And for whatever reason, you just always attract women who drink vodka.
I knew you were going to go there.
The vast majority of women that you've attracted all drink vodka.
I don't know why either.
It's like this weird phenomenon. It's crazy.
They only ever drink vodka. And I'm just kind of like, what? Why?
Yeah, because we're not big vodka drinkers.
No, I don't drink
it. But you keep bottles of Tito's around.
Yes, I do.
Just for that very reason that we know if you have someone over, she's probably drinking vodka.
Yeah, odds are.
But then my favorite segue from the Cards Against Humanity is my dice drinking game,
That is fun.
which I will explain in our story. But that one will get you drunk very quick. And the reason I love it is because you can segue into the sex dice very easily.
But I think drinking and talking is the best.
Yeah, just drinking, talking, playing games. I mean, that's what works for us anyways. I don't think we've ever done anything different.
No.
Now, if we have a woman over who we've had a threesome with, alcohol is not always the option. But I think the first time, it's always the alcohol helps.
The first time, yes. I'm going to have alcohol.
So once you get through that and the threesome starts, so you have rules for me when it's the first time we're having a threesome with a woman. What are those rules?
Your ass is wearing a condom, for one.
Even in our experience where we've had sex with a woman more than once, I still wear condoms. I mean, fluid bonding, which is a poly term where typically the man has sex with a woman and doesn't wear a condom. You prefer that to happen way later on. But the kick to that is that you don't like me wearing a condom with you.
No.
So typically,
I'm married. No.
Typically when we're having a threesome with someone for the first time, I'm putting a condom on and then I'm taking it off and then I'm putting it back on. Not the same one, obviously. You also don't like me kissing her the first time. Not with tongue. I can kiss her, but you don't like a lot of tongue action.
No, I don't want you French kissing. No.
And it seems to be only the women that you're really comfortable with or women that you're like really into that you'll be like,
you're an amazing
you can
kisser.
go down on her. Because most of the time you don't like me going down on other women.
No, that's not happening.
Those are, I think, the only 3 rules though that you have. I have to wear a condom on her, no French kissing the first time, and I can't go down on her the first time unless you invite me to.
Yeah.
Those are our threesome rules.
And
I have no rules for you.
I don't believe that. You got rules.
Honestly, I have seen you.
Make me sound like
go
this
down on other
controlling
women, make out with other women. I mean, what rule do you think I would possibly have at this point?
I guess because it's just women, you don't have to worry about
I think
men.
the only rule I have is if you go out with a woman and something happens, I want to hear about it. Like, I want you to tell me about it.
Yes.
That's it. And that's only because it turns me on. Okay, so we've gone over threesomes, icebreakers, foreplay, the different types of threesomes, why we like threesomes. So that all leads us up to our first threesome. We'd like to discuss the first time we had a threesome, the ins and the outs of it. Most of the story is basically just how we even got to the threesome, because I think that was the hard part.
Is it a good story?
Your first threesome story. That's the best story.
Is it?
Because you learn a lot from it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's our story.
It's everyone's favorite time. It's story time. Oh, yeah.
So our first threesome was with a woman named Samantha, or Sam, as you call her.
I love that name.
Yes, you do like her name. But she was a coworker of yours, in the sense that she worked in the same building. You guys didn't actually work together.
Yes, she knew my coworker. She was really good friends with her.
And that's how you met her, was
Yes.
through the coworker. But then you two hit it off, and then you two started just hanging out. Now, Samantha was the first woman that you ever brought to my attention.
Yes, she was.
As far as you saying, I'm attracted to her.
I was very attracted to her.
We had never dated a woman together. We had never had a threesome. She was the first one that you were like, I like her. This could be it. This could be our first time.
I really liked her. She was hot.
You were really big on Samantha. I wasn't as much. I mean, I thought she was attractive, but you had a lot more time with her. I didn't.
Well, I saw her every day. So
she was a single mom. She was recently divorced. It didn't end well, I think, with her.
No, I don't think so.
So she
there
had
was
a
a lot
son
of cheating on that with her
from his
relationship.
end, I think. Yeah, but yeah, she was cute. She's black. She's curvy. She's petite. She had wide hips, big ass.
I thought she was built.
Oh,
perfectly.
she's built nice. By wide hips, I just mean she's got those childbirthing.
Yeah, it's funny because
those nice hips.
It's funny because you're like, oh, curvy and petite. She really was. I mean, she was built like a brick shit house.
She's built like you.
Yeah. What?
She's got a nice ass.
was hot.
She's got those hips that you can grab onto.
But she was still in the military too.
She was a military chick. She had those tight braids that you love.
I love those braids.
You like the tight braids.
Yes.
Nice lips. I would call her slightly muscular.
Yeah.
Her weight fluctuated a little bit.
It did, and so does mine. I think that's where...
which is common.
Well, and that's how we met, was doing a challenge at work.
Yeah, you guys were doing workout challenges, yeah.
Yes, which was
awesome. And then
awesome.
you two started doing them just together.
Up and down the steps. And
but you were like...
the staircase.
Big on her. But I thought she was attractive. I think because I didn't spend as much time with her, that attraction wasn't as strong for me.
Well, she was a very... not the fact that she was attractive. She was smart. I mean...
Were you attracted to her right off the bat? Or did it...
Oh, yeah. She didn't even have to open her mouth. And it was like, oh, she's hot.
It just helped when she opened her mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Which isn't always the case.
Well, it was good conversation. I mean, we had a lot of things in common.
Do you remember being nervous to tell me about her?
I don't know.
You didn't seem nervous when you told me.
I don't think so. I don't think I was. I think I was just kind of natural with it. I think you didn't know how to go
about it.
No, I think when we talked about my sexuality, I think that's when I was more nervous. Now I'm not nervous. Or I haven't been since.
I remember you walking into the room and being like, I met a woman at work. And then you walked out.
Yeah, I didn't dwell on it.
I was like, oh, okay.
I think I just dropped it.
I think I knew what was up because we kind of had already talked about another woman and things like that.
But I think maybe I wasn't as nervous because that was the way I would drop hints. I would just
say
I think
you knew
things.
All you had to do was walk in and say, hey, I met a woman at work and I really like her, and you walked out. Like, that was what you did. And I was like, oh, she likes this chick, and she just walked out of the room, so I guess I'll go get her. And then we discussed Sam. And I think most of the discussion was how you were going to approach her in that way. Because
we were spending a lot of time together at work.
And I think you were to the point where you were like, I want this to go somewhere else.
Yeah, this was months in the process. This wasn't over a course of a day or two or a couple weeks. This was a while.
Yeah, you guys were friends for a couple of months. I think you told me pretty early on, but it was a couple of months before you started pushing it with her, I think, a little bit.
Yes, I think I waited quite a while.
I think so.
Before.
How did she act around you when you would hang out? Did you ever get like the bi vibe or?
Maybe a little, but she was really touchy-feely. But I don't know if that was just because.
But you did have a genius idea to find out. You came up with a plan because we both work in a major city.
Yes.
And there are adult stores.
They're everywhere.
You said, I'll take her to the adult store. And I will take her to the lesbian porn section. And I'll mask it as I'm buying you. I think it was an anniversary present. Because it was around our anniversary. You were like, I'm going to buy him some lesbian porn. And you just wanted to gauge what her reaction was. Do you remember how she reacted, though, when you took her to the lesbian section?
Oh, she was totally fine with it.
Yeah.
Which was
I thought she was kind of interested. Like, oh, you watch lesbian porn?
Yeah, I don't think...
Because I remember something would have had to have happened. Something would have had to have been said from her end that made you think, oh, I think she is into this.
Yeah, it was accepting, I know, with her. But it wasn't... I'm almost positive a conversation when it came out of that.
Well, it did. I know it did because I remember you saying that her reaction was enough to where you had asked her if she had ever been with another woman. And
absolutely.
That's when she told you the story about... her and an old boyfriend of hers had swapped with another couple, and she was having sex with the other guy. And then I think he went down on her, and the guy's girlfriend started crying. So they stopped.
Yeah, that whole thing was...
She said she had a really bad swapping experience. But then she also told you that she had a threesome with her recently ex-husband.
Yeah.
But she didn't really go into that threesome.
Not at that time. She didn't. No.
But, she did say that he favored her, and I think that bothered her.
She had a lot of hang-ups.
But as far as the girl-on-girl stuff, we knew she was
totally
experienced.
Accepting of it.
Yeah, we knew she was experienced. Did you like that she was experienced, or would it have turned you on a little bit more if she wasn't?
I go back and forth even with my own. I kind of got to fill out the situation.
Sometimes you're like, I like them to be experienced because it's less work for me. But then sometimes you're like, I kind of like the newbies a little bit.
I think that could be...
It's touch and go.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the woman, depends on the situation, depends on their personality. Once we went to that store, once that conversation happened, that's when I knew that it could happen, because you have to be careful with women.
But you knew from her swapping story and from her threesome story that she was at least
open to
threesomes in general.
After that moment, after that shopping experience, yes.
You and I work in the same building, so I didn't know Samantha because we work on different levels. I mean, we don't really see each other when we're there. But I at least had seen Samantha. I just never talked to her. And I know she had seen me on Facebook and such. But she had mentioned to you that she thought I was attractive.
Yes, she did.
And so I think that opened the door up even more in your mind to, let me see where this can go. And so you had made the decision to approach her about a threesome. And I remember how nervous you were. Do you remember that conversation with her?
Well, yeah, but you're also at work. This could go one or two ways. Yeah. But I was really nervous about going and asking her that. What? And I was afraid of rejection, too.
Oh, everybody is, yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, once you actually brought that idea up to her, do you remember how she reacted?
She was excited about the idea. I mean, she was
I remember you being really excited because you were like, oh, yeah, she was into it.
Yeah.
You were pumped.
I just knew this was going to happen. I didn't know when, but to get that, like, oh, yeah. Oh, she must be attracted to me.
And she was in a good point, I think, in her life at that point to have a threesome because she was recently divorced.
She was, yes.
Her ex-husband had just gotten a new girlfriend, and I think she was like, I kind of want to try some new stuff.
Yeah. I think she would have been down for about anything at that time.
Yeah. But I know once we found out that she was down for it, that's when we were like, we got to get her over here.
And we had to plan something.
Which was probably a bad idea. But we were impulsive. We didn't know it was our first threesome, and we were like, let's get her over here.
That's because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
So we invited her over for a party because we were like, let's just throw a party and we'll just have her come over, and the other people that are here, we'll just be like, oh, she's our friend. And then when everybody leaves, we'll have a threesome. Like that was our idea, which was a terrible idea.
It's horrible.
But we did. We threw a party. I remember she said, okay, she would come to the party. I think even the morning of the party, she was texting us like,
she was still
can't
coming.
wait to see you guys. I'm coming over. And then I think at the last minute she bailed.
It was at night though when she bailed.
Yeah, it was like, okay, late. People are here. Where are you at?
I think we had a fire going outside. I was bummed. Yeah. I was bummed. She didn't give this grand reason.
But it didn't feel...
It was bad. We were maybe rushing it or the timing. Maybe the party scared her off. I don't know.
It didn't feel disingenuous though. Like we weren't like, oh, she just doesn't want to do it. It legitimately felt like she couldn't make it at that point.
I remember being so disappointed.
When we have people over like that, we have to get all the kids out with sitters, and it's a lot of work.
And before we can do that again, it's going to be weeks before that happens again.
And I remember it was weeks before we could try again. But after that, I remember a few weeks later, we decided, let's just invite her over. We'll just invite just her, no party. Maybe that scared her off. And so a few weeks later, we invited her back over, and she did almost the same thing. She was like, oh, I'm coming over. I think at one point she even said, I'm on my way over, but I have to...
She had to stop somewhere?
She had to stop somewhere and get like a phone case or something. I don't know. It was some weird phone case thing. But then she called you soon after that, and she was like, oh, the phone case fell through. And by the way... Right.
She was picking it up from somebody.
She said, by the way, I forgot I'm going to watch a boxing match at someone's house. Yeah. And I think at that point we were like, how do you
remember that boxing match?
At that point we were like, she's got cold feet. She just doesn't want to do this.
I think that's when it happened.
And we kind of gave up, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
We backed off.
I was just like,
but
this
we backed
bitch
off
stood me up.
Completely. And then it was a little while after that. One day she just randomly called and was like, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? And we said, yeah. And then later she called back and was like, my ex was supposed to watch my son. And we were like, oh, here we go. But then she said, can I bring him over? Because she knows we have kids. And so we decided to keep the kids here. And we just told her to come over, bring her son. And luckily she ended up coming over.
Yeah.
And I think also by that point we were like, okay, she's bringing her son. We have our kids over. So nothing's going to happen. But we were totally fine with that.
Yeah.
I think it was just
not a
getting
stranger.
her here.
Yeah.
Because I had never formally met her. And it was like, I just kind of want to meet her. You just wanted to hang out with her.
From a distance.
But yeah, she ended up coming over with her son, and the kids watched movies, and we drank and talked and
relaxed. It wasn't anything.
No, it was a very non-pressure situation. We played Cards Against Humanity with her, though. That was the start of our normal routine, and we didn't even realize it. But yeah, I remember you two ended up passing out on the couch in the living room. And then I slept in our bedroom, obviously, and the kids all slept on the floor by the couch. But that was a fun night because our living room sort of goes into our kitchen. It's like the first floor is all open. Mm-hmm. So the kids were doing their thing and we were kind of drinking and hanging out.
Yeah,
and I think that was a big icebreaker for at least me and her.
Yeah, that was relaxing. There was no pressure there, nothing.
No, we knew nothing was going to happen. And we were fine with that. But I think this sort of amplifies that whole icebreakers are important thing because it sort of set the tone for the eventual threesome. So our big thing after that happened was we wanted to get Samantha over to the house as quickly as possible.
Yes.
In our minds. Because it went so well that night when the kids were over there that we just couldn't get it out of our head. How well would this have gone without the kids?
Oh, yeah.
So we wanted to get her back over ASAP. So we were quick to invite her over again.
It was a couple weeks later.
Yeah, it was a few weeks. And this time, obviously, she came over alone. She didn't bring her son.
No, and I think it was because we had broke that ice with her. We made it comfortable.
But we were still nervous, though, when she came over.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think this time we knew what was more than likely going to happen.
What was supposed to happen.
Whereas last time when she came over, we really weren't that nervous. But this time, because we were nervous, we were drinking before she even came over. Mm-hmm. And then she ended up showing up late.
Yeah.
Which was typical for her. So when she arrived, we had already been drinking.
Well.
But the difference this time was we didn't drink upstairs. We drank downstairs in our basement.
Yes.
Because our basement is set up for partying.
Yeah, it's completely finished.
We've got 2 bars. Mm-hmm. One of them's a wet bar. We've got a massive couch where the ottoman, when you push it in, it turns it into a giant bed.
Oh, it looks like a huge bed.
And we have a lot of mood lighting down here. Yes. Fireplace, a lot of LED lights.
It's really cozy, though.
So we got her down here. By the way, this is where we record our podcast.
Yes.
Because no one can hear us down here.
No.
Would you say it's sexual down here?
It can be.
I mean,
yeah.
If you can block out the kids' playroom to the side.
Yes.
If you can block that out, if you ignore that, I would say it's pretty sexual down here.
Just don't look to the right.
Well, I'm like, it's sexual down here, right? And as I'm saying that to you, there's like a giant play set and a power wheel to my left.
No, you're just being honest. I mean, that's married with children.
But we drank with her for a little bit, and we played Cards Against Humanity, and then we didn't play that long. I think because the first time she came over, we played it. So the second time, we really didn't play that game that long. And I brought out my dice game. So for those of you who have never played, I don't actually know what the game's called, but if you've never played the dice game, the way it works is you can have 2 people or more. Each person gets a shot glass. You can use liquor or beer. I would advise using beer.
Yeah, you don't want to use liquor.
Because it's a quick game. And you have to take shots, so it's probably better to use beer. I prefer liquor. I'm not a big beer fan.
Remember the first time I played that?
But for this game, it's better to use beer.
You gotta use beer.
And basically, you just take 1 die and you roll it. Before you roll it, you guess a number. If you get the number right, you get to pick who drinks their shot. If you roll it wrong, you have to take your own shot. And you just go in a circle. You just go around. Each person takes turns doing it.
But the odds are against you.
Yeah, and it goes really quick, and you get drunk really quick.
Really quick.
And it's a fun game. I mean, if you can't think of another game to play, and you're trying to get drunk, it's perfect. But it's also a good segue into sex dice. But the dice game was my thing. So it was like we were playing Cards Against Humanity, and it was like, all right, let's play something else because we played this last time. Let's play the dice game. And then your thing is the sex dice.
Yes.
So you bring the sex dice in.
Those are awesome.
It's 2 die. And then on one of the die, it has actions like lick, grab, smack, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then
most ladies have those dice.
Right. And then on the other die, but for those who don't, on the other die, it has body parts.
I was going to say the body parts, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have just brought them down.
Yeah, I should have had them with me as reference, but the second one is body parts.
But
and
like
I think
titties.
On the body part one, there's a
kiss.
question mark, so you can do whatever you want.
Oh, that's when the fun begins.
But you got those out, and you were like, let's play these. And by that time, we were all drunk.
Yeah,
So it was like, hell yeah, let's fucking play it. But to be nice, we allowed Samantha to go first. Because it was like, oh, who's going to roll the dice first? But we were like, Samantha, you're the guest, so you rolled the dice first. She rolled the dice, and I was a little surprised. Because she was a little bit more excited about the sex dice than I thought. She rolled it, and she rolled...
Shoot, she was the pro.
She rolled, I think it was lick or suck. I can't remember what the action was, but it was one of those two. And then her second one said body. And she looked at you and was like, lick my neck. And I remember thinking, like, I'm not going to correct her. It's not neck, it's body. But I don't care. I just want to see this. And I was shocked that she looked at you so quickly and was like, lick my neck. And I'm like, here we go. And of course, you went to lick her neck. And you started from collarbone and you went all the way up to her ear. Super slow. Super sensual.
Was it that slow? It's pretty hot.
It was sexual.
It's delicious.
And as soon as you hit her earlobe, you two started just making out. And that was it.
Yeah.
We went one roll with the sex dice.
Yeah, it was a quick game.
And you two started making out. And I think after about 5 seconds, I was like, this isn't going to stop, I don't think. So I just sat back and you two made out for a little while.
I think so. It was nice. Yeah, so.
The hands started wandering real quick.
Did they?
Yeah, her shirt was off quick. Yours wasn't, but her shirt was off quick. But what was funny, by the time you two were done making out, you were totally topless.
I don't remember.
And she still had her bra like halfway on. It was one of those like Calvin Klein cotton bras, and she had like one boob hanging out. Was she a good kisser? How would you rate her?
Yeah, she was. She had big lips.
Very nice lips. Mm-hmm. Would you rate them as DSLs?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you wouldn't rate them as DSLs.
Right.
You're a woman,
so you
but
asked
would
me,
rate
I
them
was
as
like,
DSL.
well, yeah, I guess. I was going to turn around and say, would you?
But you two made out for a little bit.
For a while. And you got to think we're drunk. Things are kind of, yeah, maybe fast now. Well, in hindsight, we're thinking about it, but that was a lot of heavy petting. The kissing, the touching.
It was sensual. I would
was
call
sensual.
It sensual. Yeah, it wasn't like...
No, it wasn't like we're
There was
fucking.
a lot of heavy petting.
Yeah, for the first time, it was easing into it and being comfortable and
Yeah.
baby steps.
Oh, you two got comfortable pretty quick.
Well, yeah.
There was a lot of tit play because you're a breast woman.
Oh, I love boobies.
Yeah. Her
Titties,
boobs were...
boobs. I don't know. I think they're bigger than mine.
No.
What?
No.
Maybe they're
Trust
not.
me, they're
Okay.
not.
I'm like, maybe they're not.
No, I would say you're a D cup. She's probably... I would put her at about a C cup.
I love titties. I don't know.
You spent a decent amount of time on hers, which confuses me how one of them ended up hanging out and the other one wasn't, because you were definitely playing with both. I don't know why that was so vivid in my mind. I just remember one of her tits was hanging out and the other one was not.
Maybe I had only pulled one strap down. I was only supposed to be licking her neck.
Yeah, you were licking more than her neck. She was licking more than your neck. But the makeout session, it moved from the carpet, which is where we were playing the game, onto the couch. And then you two were making out. And then after a while, I think at the perfect moment, you kind of stopped and you two kind of looked at each other and you laughed a little bit. And then you basically instructed her to go down on me. You look at her and you go, I want to watch you go down on him. And she just obliged.
That was hot.
So basically, we were on opposite ends of the couch. So you were with her on one side of the couch, and it's a sectional, so it's pretty big. So she moved from one side of the sectional to the other side where I was. And she went down on me, and she was really quick about it. She got it out really quick. She started going down on me really quick. And I remember being like, another woman's about to go down on me. My wife is watching. And again, this is our first time ever experiencing anything like this. So she starts going down on me. She was good at it, but I'm used to you. But you're like a world-class blowjobber.
Oh, really? Are you just saying that?
But when you go down on me, your hands are everywhere. Your tongue's everywhere. She was just more of a shaft kind of person, just going up and down. There wasn't a whole lot of
Like, I don't know how to take
extracurriculars
that.
going on.
Was that...
The thing is like the
Aw,
situation.
you're used to me.
The situation's so intense. And she was kind of same speed. Like she was a one-speed person. You know what I mean?
No,
And I found myself having to concentrate a lot, which I didn't expect. My fear was that I was going to go quick.
So you did enjoy it.
Instead, I'm like, this is good, but like I don't think I could go. So, and when you hit that point, you're like, okay, I don't think I can go, but I don't want to lose my erection, so I'm just going to like really concentrate.
So you think you were thinking too hard?
Oh, I think the situation, the feelings, the emotions, but it's a little overwhelming. So your brain is not concentrating
I'm sure. Well,
on your nether regions.
Yeah.
So you have to shift that focus down there.
It was surreal for you.
It's hard to concentrate in that situation. When your first time doing it, it's just hard.
And I would think that's probably only natural. And I'm not going to say I'm sure you're not the only guy.
And she looked over at you a couple of times during this, but I think she was
At
looking
that
over at you like trying to get
time.
reassurance, like this is still fine.
Oh, most definitely.
And did you enjoy?
Oh yeah, it's hot. It's hot for me and exciting for me to see my husband being pleased. And it was for it to be my first time. I talk about it and couldn't wait for it to happen, and then to actually see it, it was like, oh shit, this is happening. Oh my God, I like this. This is hot.
But I think after a few minutes, she kind of picked up on like you and her had a lot of sensuality going. It was hot.
I liked her.
With me and her, it was just like there wasn't that
You
wasn't
didn't have
there.
that chemistry.
So
with her.
after a couple minutes, she looked over at you and she was like, the look she gave you was kind of like,
she was
like,
done with you.
help me. So then you came over, the world-class blowjobber.
Stop.
You crawl over. So then all of a sudden, I remember she pulled it out of her mouth and she pointed it towards yours and you just gobbled it. And I'm like, okay, now I'm legitimately in a position where I'm not going to last long. Because, I mean, she kind of just watched you go down on me. But then when you gave it back to her and she was going down on me, you started doing other things. You're
I
very
like doing other
You're
things.
very attentive to the balls. So when you're on my balls and she's going down on me at the same time, I remember thinking, oh, fuck, I'm going to go.
But is that bad? The way you
Oh, no, this
say
is great.
that?
I mean, this is the position you want to be in as a man. like, I have two women going down on me, and I'm about to go.
But I like licking another spot.
Yeah. She didn't. She was she was like, I'm going on the shaft, maybe a little bit of the head, and that's it.
Which
You're
is
like
fine.
you're like, I'm going with the balls, the thighs, the devil's highway. I'm on everything.
You have to.
But
That's
you
probably a
coming
little
over worked.
Too much to
So
say.
I went from like really having to concentrate down there to not wanting to concentrate down there at all. But I think I held out pretty solidly for a few minutes. And then I was kind of like, oh, okay, let's get everyone naked, I think was kind of my way of stopping that.
Yeah, but you loved it. You loved every
Oh,
minute
God,
of it.
yeah. So once I sort of stopped it and was like, okay, let's everybody get naked, you two started getting each other naked. I helped out getting you naked a little bit.
Which wasn't much left of us anyway.
No, she had jeans on and you had shorts on and you got her naked really quick. And then I think it was just your shorts. And I remember helping her get you naked. And then you kind of grabbed her and threw her back onto the sectional and you went down on her.
Yes.
And as we mentioned in the first episode, you have done everything with another woman
Yes.
outside of oral.
Yes.
And you were, for a lack of better term, an eager beaver to get to her beaver.
Stop.
And,
Yes.
And you went down on her quick. I think she was a little shocked. She was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, because that was something.
You didn't look
that-
at me. You didn't look at her. It was like once we were all naked, you were like, I'm going with this. I really want to go down on her. This is happening.
See what tequila does to me.
Yes. And you went down on her and you seemed to be in heaven.
Yeah.
And as you're going down on her, I'm standing there like, do I watch this? But you're on all fours. So she's laying down and you're kind of in the doggy style position going down on her. Your ass was up. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. So I got behind you.
Well, it was already kind of awkward anyway, even when I first went in to go down on her. Because I remember thinking like, oh, she may not. Some women don't want it.
She didn't hesitate.
No,
you
not at all.
definitely didn't hesitate.
No, she was going to have to tell me no.
And
But I've been waiting so long for that experience, though.
And it was weird because I don't know if we were totally sold on how attracted to women she was. She had never told us, like, I'm bisexual.
No.
To our knowledge, I don't know if she had ever really been with another one. I know she had the threesome experience, but all she really told us about that was that it didn't really end all that well, and that he focused
she never
a lot
went
on
into
her.
details about it with her experience. Yeah, but with us, it was nice for me to finally get that experience and to finally get that one part that I had not done yet with a woman, and to be able to share that experience.
And you took full advantage of it.
Oh, absolutely.
But I didn't want to be that weird guy standing there naked just watching, because
that
that's
creeper
creepy.
in the corner.
Right. So I just kind of was like, all right, well, I'll just start fucking Naomi. So I kind of went up behind you and just very slowly started
Was it
fucking
slow?
you. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember being like, I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to fuck up your rhythm while you're going down on her.
Yeah, that would have been a fight.
So you went down. You were down on her for a while.
I think that shit was an hour.
No, it wasn't that long. But you were down on her for a little while.
Yes.
And then I was afraid to say, okay, let's switch it up You know what I mean?
You didn't want to get hit.
So she grabbed your shoulder and pushed it up a little bit. And when you looked up, she was like she kind of made the motion of like, okay, I'm going to get in your position and you're going to get in mine.
Yes.
So you both kind of rolled
Yeah.
a little bit. And then, so you were laying down. She started going down on you, which surprised me because, again, we weren't sure she would.
No.
But it was more important, I think, for you that you went down on her to get that experience.
Yes.
And when she went down on you, she got in the same position that you were in. So she made sure her ass was up, which to me was do what you're going to do behind me, Jack. Just, have at it.
It's my turn.
And of course, because of one of our rules, I'm like, okay, let me get the condom out. I get the condom out. And then I start having sex with her. Was she good at it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. She
better,
wasn't.
She better than me. No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that.
No. Not even close.
But
no.
She went down on you for a little bit.
But it wasn't long.
No, it wasn't.
No. I think it was more of like a tease, but I think it was.
I think she wanted to do it.
Yeah, but I
just
think,
to kind of say like, oh, okay, I did it. But I don't know if it was something she wanted to commit to.
Right, but I also think it was maybe her way in her mind, giving you the A-OK to go behind her.
Oh, when she stuck her ass up, I was like, oh, that's
that was
go-ahead.
her way of saying, my turn.
And she moaned a lot while I was behind her. So her going down on you was that.
Listen,
you probably experienced the same thing.
Your dick is huge, so I'm sure.
Not.
Yes, it is. So I'm sure. I mean, the moment it went in, it was an experience for me, just to be there in that moment with you, watching you experience that.
We did a lot of eye locking.
We're happily married and happily in love. So for me to watch you and
this
looking
was our
at each
first
other,
time doing this. So I think we kept looking at each other basically the whole time. Even when she was going down on me, I remember looking at you quite a bit. Like, we're doing this. We're finally doing it. All of our work paid off. I can't remember if she wasn't down on you very long because she stopped, or if because I remember you did the same thing to her that she did to you. You pushed her shoulder up so that you guys could do the roll thing, and then you switched roles because you wanted to go back down on her.
Yeah.
So you rolled her over. You're like, okay, this is nice, but I want to go back down on you. So then you went back down on her, and then you stuck your ass back up in the air. So I take the condom off, and that was game over for me. You can't go from like condom slightly desensitized to no condom completely sensitive. No, because I mean at this point I was like, okay, I've fucked both of them. She went down on me, like, we've kind of gone through the gamut. At this point, I'm good. But when I put it back in you for the second time without a condom on, I didn't last long. So I just decided, you know what? It's our first threesome.
The whole fucking thing was awkward.
I'm going to pull out and I'm going to go all over Naomi's ass. So I pulled out and I went all over your ass. And then I was done. And you two, I think, were so in the moment again that I just kind of like stepped back. And it was fun.
You were also exhausted too.
Seeing you go down on her with my cum all over your ass was super fucking hot.
Oh my God.
But then my cum started like dripping down the side. And then you started laughing and you're like, it's down my side. So then you two stopped. And I remember you two stopped, and I can't remember the conversation after that, but I remember you two made your way upstairs to the master bedroom to rinse off.
Yeah, it made it messy.
And I was like, I'm not going to get involved in that. I think Naomi just needs to have fun with that. So I took it upon myself to go make pizza because I was fucking starving. Per usual, after I have sex.
Yeah.
I always have to eat after I have sex.
You have to eat after, yeah. But yeah, we did. We had one upstairs, and because your cum was all over me, and I think we were done anyway, and we went upstairs.
Oh, I think by that point we were all just like, we did it.
Yeah, it was.
It was fun.
Game
it was
over.
exciting. We did it.
It was fun.
A little awkward.
Upstairs. It was very awkward.
Quicker than I'd liked.
Yeah, it probably lasted. It wasn't like hours on end.
15, 20 minutes. but you got to think half of that was you two making out and
well, that's what
petting
I'm saying.
each other.
It wasn't like this, what you think it's going to be or how you see it.
Oh, my God. We're going to be in so many different positions, and it's going to be like an hour and a half.
It's going to take a long time.
We did one position.
Quick.
A lot of laughing, a lot of awkwardness.
But it was fun.
It was a fucking blast, though.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
And the sex was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I remember.
But when it's your first time doing that, I don't know if the sex can be bad.
No. I go back to the experience and how fun it was. I mean, I enjoyed the shower.
You two were in the shower longer than the threesome was.
Oh, yeah.
Did anything happen in the shower?
kissing and
Just
playing with hair. I mean, it was
giggling.
just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I could hear it from downstairs. You two just laughing. And then I remember you two stumbling down the steps. Not stumbling. You guys, because at this point, we really weren't even that drunk at this point.
No, but it was sobering up and still.
But I remember
I was dizzy anyway.
She had your clothes on and you had it was like shorts and a t-shirt. You both had shorts and a t-shirt on. And the pizza was already done because you two took forever. And so we basically talked, vegged out, laughed for quite a while. I think we talked for almost over 2 hours probably.
Yeah. Just about anything and nothing really. But it was a fun night. She didn't spend the night.
No, by the time we got done talking and eating, I think it was late. I don't remember how late, but it was.
I know the sun was going to come up.
Oh, it was about 4 or 5 a.m. I think.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little later.
And we were and she was like, "Oh, I think I'm just going to go home because it's."
We were just really tired.
Yeah.
Long night.
Yeah. Then she went home, but I do remember after that we had a conversation about do we pursue this anymore with her, as to it developing into something further between the three of us. I don't think that was ever really an option on the table.
I think at that time, too, I think just the way that everything had happened, it was good not to pursue. It has to be with everyone.
You two clearly had chemistry.
More than what I thought.
I don't think she was interested in a relationship with another woman, though.
No, not at all. No.
So ultimately, we decided just not to pursue anything further with her. It was kind of like, okay, we had a threesome with her, and that'll be that. You guys are obviously going to continue to be friends, and
I think we joked a couple other times of getting together. Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't think it was ever something we seriously wanted to.
No, it was one and done.
Yeah, but the relationship between you and her, as far as a friendship goes, was fine. There wasn't any awkwardness with you two at work. You two were still hanging out.
Right. Until she approached me and was like, oh, hey, her ex-husband is wanting to rekindle what we had. I explained to him what I did with you and your husband, and what do you think about having a threesome with me and my husband? But when I was pursuing her, she was single. She wasn't. Yeah, because I wasn't wanting a threesome to save my marriage.
Yeah, she was very open about how she was divorced. Her ex-husband had recently just got a new girlfriend.
And they were not together.
So we were under the understanding that she was completely single.
Right. So for her to approach me out of a totally different...
That rubbed you the wrong way.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you being upset about that.
I was pissed.
Well, because she kind of made it seem like, well, I had a threesome with you and your husband, so you should have one with me and my ex-husband.
Do me a favor and help me win my husband back. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, that was not the agreement.
No.
Then we found out the big plot twist.
Yeah.
Which was...
It was kind of disturbing.
Because it was a little confusing when she said...
As the plot thickens.
Well, you have a threesome with me and my husband, because she had told us that she had a threesome with her husband.
Yes, she did.
And it didn't work.
Yeah,
and that he was focusing on the other woman, and it was really awkward, and she got upset about it, and it was basically a complete failure.
Yes.
But what she didn't tell us...
No, she didn't disclose. It was with his cousin.
Yes. He had approached her about the threesome. About another woman. And she agreed to it.
Yeah, she did.
Knowing that the other woman was someone he picked out, and it was his cousin.
You can't make this shit up.
We didn't know that going into our threesome with her, because that would have ruined it.
It would have been done. Like
you're cool with having a threesome with your husband and his cousin? What is going on?
I don't know. I think I was mortified in the fact that, not that I lost feelings for her instantly, but everything. It was
pretty quick. That was the nail in the coffin for us.
I think it was leading up from the moment I met her to leading up to what escalated, what we did, to the end. It was kind of like, you lied to me. I guess lie, but
it was a white lie. Like she intentionally left out that detail.
But there was a reason.
Because she knew that if she would have told you that.
Yeah, but being a friend, she should have killed it.
Well, the Jets cooled immediately on that. So lucky for you, she ended up getting another job in a different part of the state that's nowhere near us.
Oh,
so
we're
she
cordial.
Moved.
I mean,
we're still friends with her.
I'm friends with her,
but we haven't talked to her since then.
No. And it would never happen again, only because it was one and done.
I don't think I could have sex with her knowing that she had a threesome with her ex-husband and his cousin.
I'm okay with the way things ended, and
we had our first threesome. It was awesome. It didn't end bad. It just ended really bizarre. But
It doesn't change the experience.
No, the experience was fun.
You're going to have some that work out, and you'll have some that are kind of like, yeah.
But that's our first threesome story.
Shoot, this episode could have been boring. So, I don't know. But it was our first experience.
So I guess that about does it. Until next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Unicorn Hunters. If you would like to contact Jack and Naomi, you can reach them directly at unicornhunters.com. The E is a 3. Love the podcast? Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And as always, happy hunting.